Welcome to Halal Business Management. My name is Dr. Marco Tiemann. I'm a professor in Halal Supply Chain Management with Help University and the author of Halal Business Management, a guide to achieving halal excellence. In this video, I'm answering the question, what is halal risk management? Halal risk management is an emerging requirement for industries serving Muslim markets. This is important as halal requires a supply chain approach. Halal risk management is therefore an important halal business skill to have for entrepreneurs and companies in the halal industry. I will be covering a few important topics in halal risk management. First of all, I will be looking at current halal risk management practices. Then I will be covering the most common gaps I find in halal supply chains. And thirdly, how best to organize halal risk control for brand owners. When we talk about halal risk management practices, I predominantly see a very passive approach regarding halal risks. Halal is considered by most companies as a compliance issue to make sure we are compliant with the regulations, with the current regulations of the halal certification body and its standards. And the actual risk throughout the entire supply chain are not really on their radar screen. This means that we have not defined correct halal control points and control measures for brand owners. What is the most common assumption that companies have in risk management? They assume that the halal assurance system that developed where you need to be halal certified in combination with the existing protocols from corporate communication are good enough to tackle any halal issue or a crisis. What I find, however, that most crisis manuals are not very well suited to address halal issues and halal crises. So this endangers also the halal integrity of products, but also the corporate reputation potentially of brand owners. Halal issues of halal supply chains. There is fortunately an increasing awareness by both governments and also industries that it is important. So it is important. Why? The halal industry is getting much larger. Initially it was meat, then it became food, then it also went to other industries such as cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, various industrial products, but also into services. So the halal industry is getting larger, therefore there are more halal integrity issues potentially. We also have seen that supply chains can be very complex, so they are quite difficult to detect halal issues. Thirdly, once they are detected and once they are out, they can go very fast as a viral message throughout the internet, endangering the corporate reputation of a company. What are the common gaps I found in halal supply chains? First of all, is that when a company, a factory needs to be halal certified, people need to be trained. So what I often see is that in the factory, actual factory, people are very well trained on halal when they first enter the company, and also often every year they receive a training. This can be very different when we talk about logistics service providers, distributors, or retailers that have not received training on halal. So we see a different level of awareness in the supply chain, and also a different level of halal knowledge and capabilities. Second, the halal status is not well communicated through the supply chain on freight documents, freight labels, and also in IT system. What I also have shared in other videos is your segregation is as good as your communication. So if you don't communicate the halal status, halal will be mixed in supply chains, which is an issue. The halal status of cargo is often not a consolidation requirement to transport. This is an issue because we not always have full container loads of goods. It is mixed, and in particular when it goes towards the end of a supply chain, downstream a supply chain, we see that there's a high degree of consolidation in transportation, where potentially halal is mixed with non-halal, which is an issue. The same is true also with e-commerce shipments, where halal and non-halal is potentially also combined. I also see that halal status of cargo is not a storage requirement in warehousing. Technically, if you want to be halal certified as a brand owner, you need to segregate halal from non-halal in both transportation and storage. So it's important that compliance is also applied in supply chains, although halal authorities might not always be enforcing this. Another gap we find out is that we see halal SOPs, halal training in the factory itself. But when we talk to head office, when we talk to other functions in purchasing, marketing, sales, logistics, we find out there often those people are not trained. The problem is if those people in those important functions are not trained, they are still parties that deal with supply chain partners. So purchasing is dealing with the suppliers, and sales is dealing with the distributors and retailers. So if those important disciplines are not properly educated on halal, this is also not translated in SOPs in other functions, and also not translated into halal practices in other parts of the supply chain. We see that a lot of contracts between brand owners and third parties, can be suppliers, but also logistics service providers, distributors, have covered very well food safety, product safety, basic hygiene practices, but not halal very well. I'm of the perspective that there should be a proper halal clause in contracts with supply chain partners. The service industry is not very well prepared for halal issues and crises. This is very different from big brand owners, manufacturers that have an established practice of protocols, crisis manuals, issue management manuals, corporate communication with their tools. This is less the case in the service industries when we talk about logistics service providers, distributors, and also even retailers. And this can be a problem when there is a halal issue or crisis. Finally, there's an important gap. That is a lack of collaboration in supply chains. We call that vertical collaboration, collaboration with your suppliers, customers of your customers, and suppliers of your suppliers. And also collaboration with other industries or maybe even competitors in facilitating transportation and storage, hereby missing a lot of synergy advantages that allows cost saving, but also allows a better protection of the halal integrity throughout the supply chain. So the consequences of these gaps in the halal supply chain, that there could be serious gaps which will have impact on the effectiveness of the halal assurance system, and also effectiveness of the risk and crisis management. So what we see that a lot of companies and supply chain partners might not be as good as prepared for halal incidents and as they think. So big brands can be exposed to high impact integrity violation throughout their supply chain, but also damaging potential sales and also your corporate reputation. So how to organize halal risk control? So a lot of companies assume that the halal assurance system is that control mechanism for halal risks, but that's not true, and that's not true. And you need more building blocks to organize halal risk management. So you need to have also looking at risk prevention. So you need to establish, for example, a halal supply chain management blueprint. So how to protect the robustness of your halal supply chain. Secondly, you have to put a proper mitigation plans in place to have an effective response in case there is a halal issue, that you straight away know what to do, who to communicate with. Because a lot of crises that happened in terms of halal, with big brand owners showed that a quick response is essential to limit your damages. If there is a halal crisis, it's essential also to restore your corporate reputation and social capital of a brand. You need to establish proper roadmaps, proper guidelines and communication guidelines, how to repair the halal trust, Islamic values, and also the network. In my research on halal risk management, I established a halal supply chain risk profile. This is based on extensive academic research in various industries. So what I found that when you're dealing with food companies, that you require a more extensive risk management, halal risk management, as compared to non-food products, cosmetics, pharmaceuticals. One of the reasons is that the halal food industry is very mature and that there are very high standards also on halal. Whereas in non-food related areas such as cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, industrial products, halal is not as mature, and maybe also the expectations of the Muslim consumers are also less. They're already happy when they see a halal certificate on the product. Also, products that are animal-based require more extensive halal risk management as compared to products that are non-animal based. In Islam, there are very strict requirements on what animals and also components of the animals can be used for consumption of humans. Therefore, this is by definition a red flag in halal certification. If a product has animal components, and there are very strict requirements to allow this to happen. Therefore, if there are any animal-based products, it can be even small additives or ingredients, you need to have a far more extensive halal risk management in place. If you're dealing with suppliers from non-Muslim countries, you also require more extensive halal risk management as compared to suppliers from Muslim majority countries. And the reason is that in non-Muslim countries, halal is often not well controlled. There's no accreditation also of halal certification bodies by the government. The halal and the halal logo is often not well protected also in those countries. Therefore, you need to build far more extensive halal risk management. When we talk about serving Muslim majority countries, in the video, what is halal supply chain management, we have learned there's a difference between organizing halal supply chains for Muslim majority versus non-Muslim countries. So if you are dealing with serving Muslim majority countries, the requirements of the halal supply chain are far higher. Therefore, also the logistics service providers and distributors involved in serving those Muslim majority countries require far more extensive halal risk management. Finally, you can learn more about halal branding in the previous video. What is halal branding? So brands from non-Muslim countries also require far more extensive risk management as compared to brands from Muslim majority countries. The reason of this is that the practices of companies in Muslim countries are far more mature. Companies from non-Muslim countries are also far more doubted by the Muslim consumer. So you need to establish a far more extensive halal risk management as compared to brands from Muslim majority countries. So what is the takeaway of this session on halal risk management? for an effective halal risk management control, the halal assurance system is not good enough. They need to build far more extensive components in prevention, mitigation, and also in case of an halal crisis. I hope you like this video. If you like this video, please subscribe to my Halal Business Management channel and share this video also with your colleagues and friends. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you want to have more information, please visit my website, halalbusinessmanagement.com. I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you.